Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be, we're going to start the trifold mini album that I have had several requests to do. So I figured we would just go ahead and get started on that today. Now I know, and we're going to use the Happy As Can Be paper collection from Echo Park. And I know in my previous videos, I've told you guys that I keep a lot of like the templates just in my stash. Like if I have time to sit down, I'll just make a bunch of like the things for the different pages. So I've got all of these different things here that are already made. I'm going to utilize these for this project today. I will make sure that I tell you like the sizing or anything so that, you know, you're not just left out in the cold with it. But that is what we're going to do, and hopefully it will make this video go by a little bit quicker and not take 5 years. Now, to get started on this, you need 3 sheets of chipboard that are 6.5 by 6.5. I think mine may be a heavyweight. It's linked down below, the exact one that I use, but you can use cereal boxes, you can use anything. So I have 3 sheets that measure 6.5 by 6.5, and I've already got the tape on the back of mine. And then you're going to need 2 pieces that measure 6.5 by 1.5. These are going to be your 2 spines, and I've already got tape on the back of those. Now for covering this, you need to have 2 sheets of cardstock that, let me see if I can zoom you guys out any. There's a little bit. So you need 2 sheets of cardstock that measure 7.5 tall by 12 inches wide. And then what I done was right here where they met, I took a small piece of score tape and put there and then just lined them up. And I'm hoping that I didn't go over too far to where I don't have enough room to put all of my paper down. Because if so, then that means I'm going to have to add another piece of the paper onto it. So let me see, let's just get started. I'm just going to put this here because I need that much to be able to flip over my paper. And I need this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of lining everything up first just to make sure that I've got enough room. So that would be there, then that would go there. Then we would have this. And then let me pull this out. Then we would have this. This would go there. Then we would have this. Wait a minute. Y'all, did y'all see what I just done? I am being so crazy. No, I don't know what I'm doing. So that would go there. That would go there. This would be here. This would be here. I'm going to slide this down some. This would go here. This would go here. I'm just hoping I got enough paper. No. All right, so I may have to add a little bit on or get another piece and maybe not do such a big spot where I attached it at. So this is what you want to do. I mean, before you start gluing anything down, you might want to lay everything out and make sure you have got enough. Because I don't think that I do. Let's see if that'll get it. No, okay. So let's do this. I could cut this part out, but I'm not going to. Hang on one second. Let me grab the paper. Okay, so I've got my cardstock that measures 7.5 by 12. And I just grabbed one of my thinner rolls of score tape. And hopefully that will help. So I am just going to take my score tape, and right here on this edge, I am going to put a strip of the score tape. Just like that. Let me cut that little tiny bit off. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the back off of just a little piece of it. I'm not going to take it all the way off just yet. Then I'm going to take my other sheet and I am going to line it up right there. And now I will just take the rest of that tape backing off. And I didn't get it exactly even or straight, but it's okay. Let's see if I got myself any length added. That gave it a little bit, so I think we'll be okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to put a piece of tape right here on this edge, and that will help me keep that lined up. And then I am going to also go ahead and put my tape down on the bottom, so that way I can use it as a guide as well. You don't have to do this step right this minute. You could lay everything down and then do this. But I have found that if I do this, it helps me keep everything straighter. All right. So now that I've got that, what I want to do is I need to take my first 6.5 by 6.5 cardstock here. And I need to take my tape backing off. And I'll fix that again in a minute. Now you can put tape all the way over this and it would actually probably work a little better. I need to buy some wider score tape. I need to buy like some 2 inches or 4 inches, something like that. But this I think is the widest that I have, and I think it's like 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to use glue as well as the tape. And one more backing piece. Okay, so I'm just trying to line that up a little bit. Let's get I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac for this part. And so I'm just going to glue over the tape and put some glue as well as having the tape on it. And it just makes it a little easier, plus it gives me a slight wiggle room to move it since I'm dealing with tape. All right, and then I'm just going to stick that down. Hopefully I got it halfway even. Okay, so now I am going to take my little 5mm piece. Where's my other one of these? Let me use this one. And I'm going to take my 5mm piece and put it right there. I probably should have pulled the tape backing off before I'd done that, but oh well. And so even though this one has got tape completely covering it, I am still going to put some glue on it. So let's put the glue down. It doesn't need quite as much, but the biggest thing is just being able to kind of move this around after I get it on. All right, so now I am just going to line this up straight. Straight-ish. Okay, and there's that. So now I need to put this back down, and let's get our other 6.5 by 6.5. And we just need to take that tape backing off. Now you could use a tape runner, you could use nothing but glue, you could use nothing but tape. It's really all about personal preference, which one you prefer to use. I've always liked using tape and glue when I'm doing journal covers. That's just my preference. I think Edith over at Scrapbooking with Me, I think she is the one that got me started doing that. I'm pretty sure it was. All right, come out. All right, so now let's glue this. So I'm not exactly sure when this video will go up. I am trying my hardest to get a bunch of videos done while I have a couple of hours. So hopefully everything won't seem out of kilter when I post it. And let's see, this is the one I need to be able to just kind of see. Okay. And then now I need one more here, and let's get this. And just getting this glue, this tape backing off. Come on now. And I sure hope I have enough space. I probably could have made my spacing in between a little smaller. And I probably should have, knowing that I was running short, but I didn't. So we're just going to go with it, and we'll figure it out. We'll make it work somehow. Some way or the other, we will make it work. Let's see. This is the moment of truth, guys. Whew, it's not a lot, but you know what? We have a little bit. I will take it. So let's go ahead and get the backing off of this, which means that's not going to have a lot to fold over onto the other side. I'm not real happy about that, but I don't know what else I can do. We'll have to figure that out when it's time, I guess. Come on. My goodness gracious alive. Just 2 more pieces, that's it. This is like an off-brand score tape, and so the backing does not come off of it as good. Now, it seems to stick as good, but the backing definitely does not come off as good. I can tell a big difference that way. All right, let's get this one down, and then we got to figure out what we're going to do about that little tiny area that's to fold over. All right, let's see. just noticed that I was able to slide that one a little bit. I don't think I can slide any of these. I was trying to see if I could slide them just a little bit, but they're all stuck down already. I think I might slide this one just a little bit. That's better. Okay, I think we're going to be okay now. Let me throw these in a little trash bowl. I've got a ton of this mess on my desk. All right, now that we've got that done, now we need to put tape around the rest of it. So let's go ahead and add our tape. And this will just help us when we fold it over, the tape is going to grab, but again, I'm also going to use glue. And then we need some tape right here. I'm going to go ahead and excuse me, use this, even though it is not, it's a little too wide. I think we can still work with it. Now, the only thing I'm going to do right here, I'm going to trim this excess paper off, I think. Now, I could have went with a wider tape on that top and bottom, but I didn't. So we're just going to trim that excess off, and it will be okay. All right. Now, the other thing I need to do is I need to miter my corners, and I am just going to use this to help me get that done. And this is the 3mm miter tool that come in a kit that I had bought. And so it just makes sure that I take off the correct amount each time. I think it came with like 4 different sizes. I just normally use the 3mm one. In fact, I think that's the only one I've ever used out of it. And then I got one more right here. There we go. Okay, so let me put that back. I need to trim that off because that's going to cause me an issue. So that's that excess tape from, that's how much too much I had. I would have liked to have had that much paper. So if you're doing it, I would suggest maybe not put quite as wide of a strip in there. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to start on this one first, since this is the one I'm going to have the hardest time to get to fold over and stay. So I'm taking that tape backing off. Normally I would use my Barely Art, but since I've got such a small little piece, I am going to use my Fabri-Tac. I just have a little bit more confidence in my Fabri-Tac on stuff like this. So I'm just going to kind of work that over. And then I'm going to try and get it to squeegee down. I think that's going to work, guys. Look. Ooh. Dodged a bullet on that one. Where's my glue eraser? What did I do with it? It's in one of these little pockets here. There it is. I'm just trying to take that glue off of that black especially. I don't really care about the rest of it because it's not going to be seen, but there, a little bit of that black will be seen. All right, so now let's go to this side, and we're going to do the same thing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kind of score right there just a little bit. That way it can go ahead and be breaking the fibers of the paper down. Now this tape backing and me is not getting along. Come on, glue. All right. Get it off my finger. Now, let's see. Oh yeah, that folds much easier. And then I'm just going to burnish that down real good. And I'll go back in with my glue eraser if I need to and get that off. So now we get this long strip here. So I'm going to try and hang this off the table as much as I can. And I'm going to go ahead and score. Because I want to have it a little easier to fold. Okay. All right, now let's take this backing off and let's see if we can get this glued down. Oh man, I had the backing coming gets good. Then I messed up. It's because I guess I cut the backing when I was scoring it. All right, let's glue this down. That's a big old long strip of glue. Now let's see if we can't get this to fold over and stick the way it needs to. Come on. We're just going to have to start burnishing down. And I'm still not wanting to do it. Because I should have had more at the top and bottom. We got a lot of glue we're going to have to pull off of that. All right, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. And I have that glue eraser that'll take the rest of that glue off. But all right, we got that much done. One more strip. Can we do it? I think we can. Oh, that came off pretty easy. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Tape. Now let's glue this one down. And then we'll be on to our spine. And to me, this is the tedious and hardest part of making these. Just this right here. And it's not that it's hard, it's just tedious and trying to get it all done. I'm trying to make sure it all stays glued down, and because it's not hard, it's not in the least. Probably could have made this process look a little better for you guys. Like if I had done my paper the correct way and used the right size tape to begin with. And I'm so tempted to just redo it and edit this part of the video out. But I'm not. I've always told you guys that I would be transparent with y'all, even when I don't want to be. And this is one of them times I don't want to be. But I'm going to. I'm just getting that excess glue off. Because I don't want that glue showing on my paper. It just takes away from the look of it. All right, So now that I got the glue off for the most part, and there'll still be glue that I'll have to probably go along and pull out. So, yep, there's glue right there. All right, so this is how it is looking. All right, so the next thing is we need to decide, do we want to have two signatures that are like this in there, or two sets of signatures. So we're going to have a total of 4 in this one. So I think what I want to do, I think in this one, I want to have this more like a traveler's notebook. So I'm going to put some dots just right here so that I'll know that that's what I want. So I think this one I am going to put my regular pages. So let's do that. Now this is a paper that is 6 inches tall by 6.5 inches wide. Then I went in on the 6.5 inch side and I scored it at 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, and 4.5. And so that's what's going to give me the space for 2 signatures. And then what I've done is on the first and second area past the big spot, I put the 2 rows of tape like that, because that's going to be the fin that sticks up that I'm going to attach my page onto. And then on the underside, I put a strip of tape between those because I am going to be gluing those together. So we're not going to need that one. So let's go ahead and glue these together. So I'm just going to take this tape backing off. And then right here, I'm going to put a strip of Fabri-Tac, maybe. And then just close that down and burnish it like that. So that's the first one. Now let's do the same thing for this one. And let me glue this. All right, and I'm just going to close that down. And there we go. So those are our 2 little fins that's going to hold our pages. Now I do want to kind of miter each of these a little bit because this is the same height as our paper itself. So I just want to make sure that, you know, there's none of this part showing once I attach the pages. Man, I almost got it too short because of how short my fold is. Y'all might want to make sure you give yourself a little bit more height. And it wasn't that my paper wasn't tall enough. I didn't use a tall enough tape, I guess. Because I about made me a good old mess up. Let's make sure that this will cover it. Yep, it will cover it just barely. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take some tape and I'm going to put it on the back side of here. Because we are going to attach this in. And so I'm just putting some tape down like this because I will also use some glue for this. And I probably should have taped it going the other direction, but it's okay. Y'all know I'm crazy. And I do things the hard way. Let me just trim this off. So I am actually filming this on July the 5th. So we had a very good 4th of July. My daddy had bought a bunch of fireworks from some fireworks store in Alabama, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember. He goes there, I think he goes once a year, and he buys fireworks at that one time for July 4th and New Year's. So we already have our fireworks for New Year's as well. But they have it all fixed up out there at their house. In one of the pastures, they put the horses into the barn, and of course they give the horses some CBD and that kind of stuff to keep them calm. But they set it up, and it's just like being at a regular fireworks spectacular. And then 2 of my sons are firefighter. Well, one is a firefighter, and the other one is in fire cadets, and he'll be a firefighter once he graduates. So they have, you know, everything ready to be put out. They have hoses there. They have buckets of water. So it's a really, really nice thing. And we normally will eat at Mom and Dad's, and, you know, as many of the kids and grandkids come as they can, and we'll do a nice dinner there at Mom and Dad's, and then we will normally do fireworks about 9, and it is just so much fun. I enjoy it. I look forward to it every year. All right, so I'm trying to get this in the middle of the signature, and I think I did it. I think it needs to slide just a little bit. There we go. And that's why I use the Fabri-Tac, because it would not have slid if I had not used Fabri-Tac, because that tape is not going to let it go anywhere. Okay. So now I just need to kind of score along that fold line there, so it will fold. There we go. All right, so there's that. And then this will have the 2 holes. So I think what we'll do, let's go ahead and maybe try and figure out our cover and at least get that much done for today. And then we will come back and start building it. So what did I do? There's the paper. Let's see what I want to be on my cover. And this is the collection I am using. And I actually have some honeybee paper. I like that. That may be our cover, because we need to figure out the cover and the spine, and then we'll need the insides. So let's see. Has a lot of cut aparts with it. Oops, I'm hitting you guys. Okay, let's see here. I think what I want as my cover is this one right here. And I think what I'm going to do, because I think I may put a backing behind that and then put the paper. Let's see. Now this cardstock here is white dove, so it's not a true white, but I think it's what I want. I think it will look good, hopefully. So let's cut this piece of cardstock. Since my paper is 6.5 by 6.5, I think I'm going to cut my cardstock at 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 at one time. And you probably can't see because I'm throwing tape down, and that's what happens when you have too much junk on your desk. And I really don't have a lot on my desk. It's just the way my desk is set up or something. I need to do something different with it. Okay, so I've cut that at 6 1/4. And now let's cut this at 6 1/4. These can be put back in the Lazy Susan because I don't need them. All right, let's take a look and see how this is going to fit. I think that will work. And then let's cut this. Let's cut us a 6 by 6 piece out of this. And 6 right here. And then we want 6. Okay. So let's see what that's going to do. Okay, I like that. So let's go ahead and glue this down. Oh, I like the back side of it too. The only bad thing I don't like about double-sided paper is because most of the time, like especially from Echo Park or Cardabella or something, I like both sides of the paper. And you don't have two to be able to use one of one side and one of the other. So you just have to figure out which one you like the best. All right, so there's that. That's going to be our front cover. And I need to get my covers done pretty soon because I need to put, before I can do the inside, not the pages, but the inside spines and covers and all, I need to go ahead and have my eyelets put in there. All right, so let's go ahead and glue this down. We've already decided that's what we want to go there. I like that. So we're putting that down on our front cover, and then we will probably end up putting like a die cut or something. That's how we will embellish it. Now, I'm trying to look and see here. So this one right here is where we're going to need our other eyelet so that when we open it, there'll be seam binding coming from here and from here. All right, so let's see. What do we want the back cover to be? Do we want to just do it the same? I think we will. Let's just do the back cover the same as the front. And we won't put an embellishment on the back cover. So let's do that. And then we'll have one more cover that we need to deal with. All right, I'm just gluing this down. There we go. All right, and I want to make sure I've got it going the same direction. Yep, I do. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And then I can go ahead and poke my holes for the eyelets. We actually may come back tomorrow and do that so that it's not so much information all in one video for you guys. And do we want to go ahead and do our spines? I'm thinking this for the spine. So let's do that. So we need a piece, we need 2 pieces that measure 6 1/4 tall. And I'm just cutting both of them at the same time like this because I'm going to need it. And then we have 1 1/2 inches. So let's do 1 3/8 inches. think that will work on that. Let's see. Okay, and then for this, I am going to cut this branding strip off first. And then I think I want a piece that is an inch. Let's do 1.25 inches. Get it together, Betty Renfro. Let's see how that looks. I think that's about perfect. Yep, and let's do another one that's 1.25 inches. Okay. And let's glue those down. And we're going to do the green gingham showing on that. I'm just trying to get that where it's got the same amount all the way around, or try to anyway, and I didn't. Come on. All right, we're going to have to re-glue it because I'm messing up. I didn't make sure it had the same amount all the way around, and it was looking bad. All right, there's that one. Now let's try this one too. See if we can do a little better job on this one. I don't know, but we're going to try. Okay, there we go. So now we can go ahead and glue these down, and then we will call this video done for the day. And then we'll come back in the next one and we'll start working more on it. I imagine it will probably take maybe 3 videos for us to get it done. I imagine that's what it'll probably take, but we'll get it done. And let's get this one. There we go. Okay, so we've got that much done so far. It is looking super cute so far, guys. Look at that. Adorable. Okay, come back for the next video, guys, and we'll make it look even better. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.